So this baby reindeer woman, Fiona Harvey, bombarded Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, with 300 emails telling him he was a stupid little boy and that his wife looked dreadful. So poor old Keir was a victim of Fiona Harvey's tendency to stalk people. We'll be talking about that in just a little while with Russell Quirk. But Russell, before we get to the all-important topic of baby reindeer, you pointed this out. If you this afternoon, that the UN Security Council stood up in respect after the death to mourn the death of the Butcher of Tehran, who's responsible for putting 5,000 people to death for minor crimes. The man is a monster. What on earth are the Security Council members doing standing up to mourn his death?
The Security Council of all organisations, not just the UN, who of course have been increasingly questionable, I think, in their standpoints.
Hate Israel. No, I mean, what's his name? Antoneris.
He doesn't seem to favour them, that's for sure, does he? But the fact that, knowing his record, you know, not just in terms of the people he's killed and so on, but how he's tightened the screws on the Iranians in terms of, you know, hijab laws and, you know, almost celebrating the throwing of gay people off of the top of tall buildings. How the UN Security Council can stand up, as they're about to do here, and to pay tribute to a man, regardless of whether he's the leader of a nation or not. The man's a tyrant. Sorry, was a tyrant. And I know we shouldn't celebrate the death of anybody, but frankly, Kev, there are exceptions.
If you're going to celebrate the death of somebody, he's not a bad start.
No, there are exceptions, and he is absolutely one of them. Turns out there is a God. So the fact that the UN Security Council have almost kind of paid tribute to him, supported him, I think he's
stood as a mark of respect.
When I first saw it, I thought it was one of those AI-generated fake videos. Seriously, I could not believe what I was seeing about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, apparently, in normal times, the UN, the United Nations, censures Israel about 12 times a week. This is before Hamas attacked it. Yeah. So Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary-General, the left-wing, preposterous Portuguese idiot, he hates Israel, and he's very pro-Palestine, and hence this outrageous display.
Well, he's nailed his colours to the mast this afternoon, isn't he?
What are they doing standing out in respect for this guy? He's a butcher, he was a murderer, a mass murderer. But let's move on. Let's talk about baby reindeer. Extraordinary story, big exclusive in The Sun. Excellent story.
The gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
So Fiona Harvey not only stalked this guy, Richard Gadd, the comedian, who turned it into a smash hit. Well, first of all, it was a stage show at the Edinburgh Fringe. Then he's turned it into a TV series, which is 60 million views. It is the world sensation of television. And Piers Morgan's interview with her subsequently, that's had almost as many hits, way up into the tens of millions. People are fascinated with this story, but you know, it's fair to say she clearly just finds targets and then, you know, attacks them with emails.
Well, I wonder if there's anyone in Britain that she hasn't stalked. I'm
feeling a bit left out.
I was going to say, well, your time will come, mate, I'm sure. I have to say, with no disrespect to Keir Starmer, I mean, there's no accounting for taste, is there? I mean, the fact that she's bombarded him with, 236 emails over a short period of time. 276 emails, sorry, according to Hollywood Reporter and others. I mean, it's nothing less than obsessive, is it? So, yeah, what quite was going through her mind? Although there's no suggestion that this was a kind of romantic motive. This was actually her berating him for being useless, which I suppose is fair enough.
Yeah, useless barrister, stupid little boy, said his wife, Lady Victoria Starmer, looks dreadful, etc. This is the same
Which, by the way, is not true.
Yeah, no, of course not. It's the same shtick as Richard Gadd went through. So it does seem that Victoria Harvey may have been sort of all-round exploited. She's clearly a vulnerable person. But I don't know why she's allowed to do all of this. You know, Starmer, then Richard Gadd's got 41,000 emails.
Well, she now maintains
350 voicemails, and she's never been arrested. I mean, this is stalking. This should be against the law.
Well, it is. There's the Harassment Act, as I understand it, which is basically if you pressure someone or intimidate someone and you round on them on a regular basis, kind of twice or more, then that's harassment. I guess, look, it's another indication, isn't it, of our woeful police service. There are laws in place, and What we'll now start to hear, of course, is, well, look, maybe we need to tighten the law. Maybe we need more knee-jerk laws, which seems to be something that politicians do more and more now in response to these things. We don't need any more laws, Kev. What we need is the police to enforce the ones that we already have. They're perfectly adequate.
Somebody needs to look after this woman. If that involves her being arrested and getting the help she clearly needs, then perhaps it should happen. I mean, the fact she's been allowed to stalk on a massive, epic scale and the police have never done anything about it strikes me as typical. So,
and these are the ones we only know about, right?
Exactly right.